Chapter 10, Seva. That's a word that means selfless service in Sanskrit. I believe it's where we get the word service in modern times too. People ask, how did your Seva begin? How did you start working for Pujya Swamiji? That's the guru that she just met. The Seva began on the 4th or 5th day after I arrived. My eyes were flooded with tears, the beach within my heart being shaped by waves of love rising and crashing on the shore, each wave so high I was sure it would drown my very heartbeat. I saw Pujya Swamiji 3 times each day, at morning and afternoon darshan, which means divine sight, and in the evening arti, which is a ritual involving the flame of a lamp, during which I joined the yellow-clad boys and orange-robed sadhus, Hindu monks, to stand on the steps leading to the river's edge and sing along to the words that I didn't understand. Each evening, as we sang, I felt a hand gently reach into my chest, grab hold of my heart, my lungs, and every physical aspect of me, and carry me by my internal organs the way a mother cat carries her kittens by the skin of their necks, to a plane of existence I'd never before encountered. It was not a physical plane. There were no distinct mountains or rivers or grassy fields. It was not a visual experience at all. It was an entirely different state of being. When I opened my eyes, I was still physically there, on the edge of the flowing Ganga River. Yet I was carried to a different level of perspective and experience, one in which there was no yesterday, today, or tomorrow. Time wasn't linear. Simultaneous moments overlapped in a carefully woven tapestry of existence. Nor was space linear. When I opened my eyes, I could recognize that the legs that moved by force of my brain were standing atop some marble steps that led one after the other into the river. So I knew I was here. This was where the body stood, and yet I was not here. I was taken to a simultaneous, separate plane of existence, carried deeper and deeper by the songs Pujya Swamiji sang. Each note took me into a realm where I was both the legs that came out of my torso and the legs that came out of everyone's torso. And I was also everyone's torsos, arms, heads, and ears, and the steps on which we stood, and I was the water flowing over the marble. With a gentle shift in focus, I was all of these. After Arti, after the wave of yellow and orange-clad students and renunciants receded back into the ashram, I continued to sit, my eyes merging and melting into the water, now incandescent in the moonlight. It felt to me like there had never been a moment prior to this one. All of time was now. The 25 pre-India years of my life seemed a canvas on which a child had painted and I had once glimpsed and smiled at. One afternoon, as Pujya Swamiji stood to leave from the afternoon darshan, he looked down at me, still seated on the ground, waiting for my legs to regain sensation so I could stand. "You can come at 6:30 a.m. tomorrow, after the prayers," he said. Come where? He had already brought me to what seemed to be the furthest reaches. "Where should I come?" I asked in a whisper, as though my vocal cords had gone to sleep with my legs. Just come here to this room," he replied. "One of the boys will bring you to see me." With that, he turned and left, vanishing through the magic door into his quarters, his sleeping, eating, and meeting rooms. Beyond that door, it had seemed to me, was the land beyond the phantom toll booth, a kingdom of wisdom I'd never be able to visit. The next morning, I was up before my alarm buzzed at 4 o'clock. All through the prayers, which include Hindi and Sanskrit chanting, and then a Hindi discourse, I was edgy with excitement. What would it be like in the inner sanctum? What would Swamiji say or do? Each previous morning, I had effortlessly entered a state of meditation. The words of the songs and the lectures were music to my ears. Not understanding Hindi was a blessing. When we don't speak a language, the language center seems to shut off, and sound is processed as just sound, and each word brought tears to my eyes. If I didn't understand, why was I crying? What was touching me so deeply? We process only the most superficial aspects of communication through our language centers, I believe. The rest of communication takes place elsewhere, perhaps in the body, the nervous system, or the soul. In any case, meditation came easily each morning, as I was undistracted by the meaning of what was being said. The chorus of men and women on separate sides of the hall bursting forth into Hari Om as the clock tower struck 5 soothed my mind to stillness. On this morning, my mind was not calm. My heart beat rapidly. I couldn't lose myself or merge with the sounds. I kept looking at the clock, waiting for the prayers to end. Then a quick cup of coffee, and I'd be taken to see Swamiji, granted entrance into his sacred quarters for the first time. Let's pause our reading of Hollywood to Himalayas there for now. We can explore the inner sanctums of Pujya Swamiji's quarters with our dear author as we pick up the book to read next time.